Well, I've been extremely profitable with my college basketball selection since the beginning of March on WagerTalk TV, I should say. And let's keep it going. I got two winning totals in the Final Four on Saturday, April the 5th. I'm recording on Friday the 4th. So keep in mind, these lines are subject to change depending on when you view the video. Easy for you to say. All right, so a couple friendly reminders, folks. NBA special offer right now, 195. You can get the rest of the NBA regular season right through the playoffs and through the NBA finals for just 195, folks. Last three NBA postseasons for yours truly at Wager Talk, 114 and 76, good for 60% and a net profit of 12,285 units based on $100 bet per unit. So making a lot of money over the last 3 years. Great win percentage, 60%. I don't know, for 195, you're not going to get a better value than that, folks. Make a small investment to make a large profit with myself, Ross Benjamin. You can go to my direct link, wt.buzz/RB. NHL 17 and 9 since March 4th for myself. And those of you who have been following know I don't start the NHL till later in the year. And then I really ramp it up during the playoffs, where I up the volume of plays as well as the value per play in terms of units bet. So take advantage of our special offer right now for not only myself but everybody else at the site. 195 in the NHL as well will get you identically the same as the NBA. You're going to get the rest of the regular season, all of the playoffs, and right through the Stanley Cup Finals for 195. All right, folks. Don't forget to give me a like, just a small token of your appreciation for my time and effort. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button below. And it's absolutely free to do so. And also, don't forget to hit that alert notification bell for Wager Talk TV. After you subscribe, we'll let you know whenever our content goes up on our great channel. All right, let's get to meat and potatoes. And that's the game between Houston and Duke. This game goes at no. Let's start. Yeah, Houston and Duke. Let's. Yeah, a little bit confused here. Let's start with the early game. Florida and Auburn, 6:09 Eastern time. I might be confused about where I want to start, but I'm not confused about what I like in these contests. So that's the important thing. Auburn defensively in the NCAA tournament, 4 games allowing 65.5 points per contest and holding opponents to 38.1% shooting. Their offense, though, offensive shooting, I should say, hasn't been up to snuff for a team that's made it to the Final Four. During the NCAA tournament, they're only shooting 43% from the field, 30% from beyond the 3-point stripe, and a terrible 62.8% from the free throw line. Auburn has gone under the total in 5 of their last 6 games, which includes all 4 NCAA tournament games and the 2 games they played in the SEC tournament. And those 6 games averaged a combined 138.2 points per game, well under what this current total is of 160. And by the way, in those 6 contests, Auburn allowed 70 points or fewer on all 6 occasions against some pretty good competition. Florida averaging 28.8 free throw attempts per game in the NCAA tournament. It's well above their season average of 22 free throw attempts per game. And Florida, by the way, was last during SEC play in free throw percentage. They only made 69.4% of their free throws. Despite that huge amount of free throw attempts, I don't see that. I'd see it more around the norm, around their average, and maybe a little less against Auburn. Because Auburn, even though they send people to the free throw line a lot, they've really settled down during the NCAA tournament in that regard. Neither team is a good free throw shooting team. Auburn like I said, they settled down during the tournament with free throw attempts. They're one of the worst in the country in that department over the course of the season. But during the tournament, only allowing 18 free throw attempts per game, and Florida 18.7 free throw attempts allowed per game during the NCAA tournament. Auburn, number 8 in defensive efficiency nationally. Florida, number 10 in defensive efficiency nationally. Both teams are top 10 in three-point shooting defense. Um, Florida has gone over the total in 11 straight games. In the first meeting, they won at Auburn 90 to 81. So you might say, well, you have to go over in this game, right, Ross? Well, you know what? Not so fast, my friend. This game played at the spacious Alamo Dome in San Antonio. And for those of you who have witnessed NCAA tournament Final Fours in the past, know and have followed it on a regular base, annual basis, know that once these teams get into these spacious arenas in the Final Four, where the sight lines change, and there's depth perception becomes a problem for shooters. It takes time, for those players to adjust to that kind of environment. And when you're talking about a total of 160, you're talking about a team like Auburn that's playing so good defensively right now, and also not struggling to shoot the ball offensively. I think there's good value here. This total opened at 162. It's down to 159.5, despite the fact that a majority of the money and volume of tickets have gone on the over in this game. I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going Florida Auburn under the total of 160. That's Florida and Auburn under the total of 160 on the first Final Four game on Saturday, April the 5th. Next game, Houston and Duke. 8:49 p.m. Eastern Time slated tip. Duke is a 5-point favorite as we speak. The total in this game is 137. The Houston Cougars, number 1 in defensive efficiency in the country, and they've pretty much been in that spot for about all of the season, for the most part anyway. And then they also play at a very slow offensive pace. They're number 360 out of 364 teams in terms of offensive pace, which that amounts to they play at a snail's pace, folks. And they're number 11 in offensive rebounding. And that's key, because if you really stop and think about evaluating the total, and a team that plays at an extremely slow pace and a team that's an excellent offensive rebounding team, they're forcing opponents to sometimes play defense for close to a minute on an offensive on one time down the floor. So that's something to really keep in mind. Houston has allowed 65 points or fewer in 15 of their last 17 games and 31 of 38 games this year. So the Cougars, if not the best defensive team in the country, they're certainly top 2 or 3 in that regard. The Cougars are 7-0 to the under in their last 7, when the total's been between 130 and 139.5, and those 7 games averaged a combined 127.6 points per game. Defensively, in their 4 NCAA tournament games, Houston has held opponents to 56.5 points per game, 37% shooting, and limited them to only 51.3 field goal attempts per game, which, again, there you have it. It's not always about suffocating defense. It's more about your offensive style, your offensive rebounding, and limiting the opponent's offensive possessions per game. Duke is number 5 nationally in defensive efficiency. A lot of, you look at Duke, a lot of people think of this high scoring machine, which they are, but they've been extremely good defensively, and we've seen that in the tournament as well. And they're only number 268 in offensive tempo. And they forced their opponents this season to use an average of 19 seconds per offensive possession. And that was the 4th most time used by opponents against a team this season. So they, not so much their offensive end, they'll speed it up on occasion. But when it comes to defense, you very rarely get off a quick open look against Duke. Duke defense in the NCAA tournament, maybe not quite the numbers of Houston in terms of points per game, 68.3, but just about the same in defensive field goal percentage at 37%. Their previous game, they played Alabama, who's arguably or who has been arguably the best offensive team in the country this year. And they held the Crimson Tide to just 65 points and 35% shooting. So that shows you that Duke is a well-rounded team. Not only could they light it up offensively, but defensively they get it done as well, especially in big games. Both of these teams shoot the 3-point shot very well. However, both are excellent in terms of defending the 3-point line. So a little bit of a wash there. These teams met in the Elite Eight last year. Duke came away with a 54-51 win, and that game easily went over that total of 133 and a half. There was only a combined 98 field goal attempts in that game, and both teams went identical, 20 for 49 from the field, 40.8% shooting. Also, there was only 29 free throw attempts combined in those games, and the teams combined to go just 8 for 25 from beyond the 3-point line in that low scoring affair. I don't know if it's going to be that low scoring affair as the one we saw last year in the Elite Eight, but I think it will be a low scoring affair in relative to today's total of 137. Or Saturday's total, I should say. I'm recording on Friday. So I'm going to go with Houston and Duke under the total of 137 in the second game of the doubleheader in the Final Four on Saturday, April the 5th. Again, my two winners, Houston and Duke, under 137, and the Florida Gators and Auburn Tigers to go under the total of 160. So both games to go under. And I got winning. I'll have winning sides in both of these games, including a 5% top play in the Houston and Duke game, 5% best bet, I should say. So stay tuned for those. Those will be up later today. Until the next time, folks, take care and God bless.